What's going on, Z Warriors? Mr. Waffles here, and today I have a special deck profile for you guys. It's Red Ruthless Wheelo. It's a deck that I've always been kind of talking about and kind of throwing it out there for you guys on Retro. For me, it's a deck that I really like just because of the synergy with Wheelo and the Mastery. It's something that you don't really expect to work, but it does a lot. Again, it's one of those decks where um, you could you just take something and you can just do a bunch of different things with it. So you have Wheelo's level 1. Which allows you to set your anger to 3. So even if you get wall breaker, you can still just gain the 3 anger, which we would use as a resource to get either drills or to use certain card effects and things of that nature. So I'll get into the deck and so you guys can see what I'm actually talking about. So Red Ruthless Wheelo, everyone. So for physicals, we have one Playful Punch. I want to bump this up to probably 2 or 3. Again, I didn't really purchase much of set 5, so I don't have much of these around. But again, the ability to gain 5 stages is huge, especially with Wheeler, who has a low power up rating and low levels. So even if you're at 0, you can use this card, gain 5, and then if you block an attack on your opponent's next action or they pass, use the mastery and then use it again to go up to full. So I think I'll definitely put this card up to 2 or at least 2. And its damage output is 3 life cards. So with Red Despair Drill, I can do anywhere from like 6 or more. So I'm definitely gonna probably add more of this. Again, like deck space is so tight, and I'm gonna try and find room for sure to put this in there. And if you guys see any changes where I can put this in, just let me know. Again, we're all one community. So for more physical attacks, we have 2 Sinister Choke. I definitely want to bump this up to 3 as well because, again, 5 life cards, unpreventable, is always good. And it helps trigger the Red Intimidation Drill to get the draw. So with that and the Spare Drill, if you have 3 anger, this would do at least 8 life cards. If you're at Willow 2 and you bump up to 2 with Red Saving Drill and you keep your anger, this can do 5, 8, like 10 life cards, unpreventable. So it's really sick stuff. So you can see why I really want to put this thing to 3. We also have 2 Red Knee Lift. Again, auto crits are always welcome in this deck. Again, to make up for the fact that we're not playing in Rage Mastery, uh, to be able to just again have use a crit effect without any commitment or any setup is always good. And being able to lower your opponent's anger probably like 4 levels because you use a crit to lower their anger 1. If it hits, the mastery will trigger lower their anger again, and then use a hit effect to lower the anger. So you can lower the anger like lower the anger 3 from this one card, which is always good. So this is just there if your opponent has any Dragon Balls or any allies or anything that's in the way. It's just a good way to just get rid of them. So we'll play 2 of these. We also play, of course, uh, 3 copies of Red Double Strike for obvious reasons. Mainly in this deck because, again, with Red Despair Drill, being able to, sorry, I have a little cold, but being able to gain some additional anger, being able to use that to fuel up your Despair Drill and really do some good damage output, it's incredible. So, it might just do 2 stages, but it's all about the life card damage we're trying to really achieve here. So if you're at Wheelo 1, uh, you can use this Wheel's power to set your anger to 3. Use this. It's going to do 2 stages and 3 life cards, and the next one's going to do 2 stages and 4 life cards. And then you could kind of like manipulate your anger again and do all these fancy stuff with it. So we played 3 of these just because, again, Wheelo is not strong on its own, so we need to kind of make up for it with cards like these. We played 3 Red Heel Kick. Again, mainly to use your discard pile as a toolbox. And it's also good to kind of lower your anger as well. So that way, if you want to stay at a certain level and just keep chaining attacks, sorry. So that way, you can get as much as possible before leveling up. This card helps you with that. So to be able to get like a double strike or to get whatever you need is always welcome. So 3 copies of these for sure. Uh, and if you ever overturn it with Wheelo's power and then use the mastery is always welcome. So more the merrier. So this card again is very versatile in this kind of deck and is always good to have. Play 2 Red Powerlift. I had 3 in here, but I took 1 out for a Playful Punch. Sure, it's good to stop an attack, and I know Playful Punch gives you stages. Again, it's all relative to the game state. So again, I figured two is good, and replacing one with the third playful with a playful was a good choice just because even though you stop an attack, my power level could be at zero or one above zero or something. At least Playful Punch can potentially give me 10 stages. So again, this card is still good. If going against physical beatdown, they really have to work their way to kind of get through you. So it's good to have an attack and block all in one card. We have two Red Power Punch. This is our pretty much backup card for the Red Right Punch that we play. So Power Punch again is just there to get some drills if just in case you don't get your Power Punch your Red Right Punch, I believe. So it's good endurance and everything like that. 5 stages, get a drill. If it doesn't hit, if your opponent doesn't do any life cards, you can just try and go for it again. So it doesn't hurt to have. So 2 copies of these. We also have 2 Red Mule Kick. The reason why I'm still playing this card, even though you don't care about Wall Breaker, because you could always set your anger to 3. At the same time, that's as high as it can go. You still want to like things like capture or anything that might attach, or even your opponent's stuff, like especially with Say now being very popular for a lot of attached cards. This card still has a lot of versatility, so you still want to be able to get rid of threats that are whether attached to you or your opponent. So it's never harmful to have. So 2 Red Mule Kick. I also play 2 Red Tandem Attack, so it's good. Obviously, entering a VTP, you get a free draw. Keep the hand advantage, or they're using sell. Uh, they get the card, and then you can just get that draw. So again, I played as a 2 of just because we had to find room for other things, and the endurance 2 is always welcome. And if you're ever going against black, is always clutch to have. And our last physicals is main reason why I'm playing this deck is 3 Red Right Punch. So the main combo with this is you use Wheelo 1 to destroy the top card, all that stuff. Set your anger to 3, and then you Red Right Punch. You get 3 drills, one of them being forward stance drill, and then if they either attack you, you block with the forward stance drill, and then you use the mastery to get another 3 drill. So this card has a lot of value. So 3 Red Right Punch for sure, the endurance as well, and it's just the whole key in the whole engine of the deck. Again, the Red Power Punch is just like your backup plan. So being able to have this card, it just makes the deck worthwhile. And that's why, again, we also play the Heel Kick, just because if this is ever in the discard pile and it's not on the top of your discard pile, you can just grab it and then just do the combo anyway. So 3 Red Right Punch. Just too good. 6 drills for 1 card is amazing. And for physical blocks, we play 3 red blocking hand. Again, the stage gain and the anger gain is always prevalent. It's just always good to just it's never a bad thing to have stages or anger, so we just play 3 of these. It's just good physical block. For energies, 2 Red Tandem Blast. I'm probably going to bump this up to 3, seeing how good it is. It only costs 1 stage, and it does 4 life, and you can lower your anger 2, and your opponent cannot play non-style cards this combat. So, you will have a really aggressive hand. You just enter with this, and they can't use time. They can't use any like Roshi cards, any Sphere, anything of that nature. So this card is just really, really good. And lowering your anger 2 is obviously not a issue because you can just set your anger to 3. So it's just always live and costs 1. So we definitely should probably be playing 3. Again, I just have to find room. So we have 2 for now. Other energy attacks, we have 2 Red Energy Blast. I play 2 because you have to banish a drill or ally, so you can end up banishing your own drills if that's why I didn't want to play it as 3. But 2 just because, again, you can get it with the heel kick, VTP, or anything of that nature, and you can just still get rid of your opponent's board present if need be, but it wouldn't be too cloggy. So 3 Red Energy Blast. So again, it's a good card just to have any threats, and sometimes it's also good to banish your own drills. You'll see why in a minute, but I just figured 2 is just a good number. And 3, probably the best energy card in, at least red energy card in set 5. 3 Red Cannon. This card, again, the synergy between this is ridiculous. So again, we talked about Red Right Punch being able to nab you 6 drills. So You have Wheelo. You set your anger to 3. You right punch to get you 3 drills, and then you use the mastery, get another 3 drills. So off of one right punch, cannon's already live to be used as an omni block. This card is very versatile in this deck because again, you can use it to block, um, which is always good. If you don't have, let's say, the stages to perform, you can just use it to block. You can also, if you have to use it as an attack, destroy one of your drills to banish a setup or a drill that they have, which is always good. So good spot removal, and it does 4 plus X the number of drills. So if you use right punch, you get like forward stance, embarrassing drill, and let's say tactical drill or something like that, and then you get another 3, so you get like intimidation, um, hunt and drill, and let's say some other drill. This card's already doing 4 plus your 6 drills, which is 10, plus the 3 life cards from the Despair drill, which is 13. So you can go like Red Cannon for 13, and then forward stance drill to block your opponent's next attack, and then Mastery to use it again. So this card, and it doesn't banish after use, which is disgusting. So we can see why this card is just really good in this deck. It's always live for the most part. I never had a problem or any consistency issues with it. That's because you can just get drills so easily, especially with Bright Punch. And our last energy attacks we have is 3 red Freezing Beam. So again, being able to, if your opponent wants to get rid of that forward stance drill, you can just bring it back. So it's just another way to get back your drills, which is always helpful. So this card, 3 of, no doubt. For events, we have obviously the 1 times the Warriors tool, obviously. Stop anything. 3 stare down. Again, this deck is actually can be really aggressive, so you still want to be able to nitpick cards out of your opponent's hand, get the best card out, and just go ham on them. So you can see like, oh, get rid of that, and then let me like red cannon you for like 15 twice or something like that. 2 red retreat. So we play red retreat again because you'll see why with the combos, but it's just always good to end combat. So you can like enter in your opponent, they might get like use a VTP or whatever, and then you just red retreat, get out of combat. Or if they sell and they get the extra card in their hand, red retreat, or anything where your opponent's out advantaging you in terms of hand advantage, it's just good to just get a drill and just peace out. And which you can get back with red stop or red freezing beam. So 2 of these for sure. And it's searchable by premonition. So you play that. Speaking of red stop, obviously 3 red stop, safe on this build. Being able to omni block, being able to get back a drill is always helpful. And yeah, just omni block, searchable by premonition. So if you're ever in a tight spot, you can always have this to help you just stay alive for that extra combat, hopefully. So, and it's mainly for the drill tutor, which I like it. Being able to do that. Now the drill package, I play 1 lookout drill. Again, for decks that, like anything like blue training stuff or anything that kind of mills, at least you have a card for it. And you play 1 because you can always get it back with red stop or freezing beam, which is good because I don't think they specify it to be styled. Well, this one's styled, but I think freezing beam, I believe, is just get a drill. Yeah, for a drill. So this is styled or non-styled, and this one is styled. So the fact that you can still get this back if they ever get rid of it is always good. So 1 lookout drill, 1 red hunting drill. Again, you're doing a lot of damage output. It's always good to nitpick and see your opponent's deck, see what kind of blocks they have, how many blocks they have left, take out like VTPs before they ever hit the field kind of thing. It's always good to just nitpick and get some stuff out of your opponent's deck. And knowledge is power, so one red hunting drill. Red Intimidation Drill, again, clutch card. You'll be surprised how many times it actually activates. I'll go out and use it once per combat, but the fact that you can actually get its ability off in a Wheelo deck is pretty insane. Again, with Red Despair Drill, all your stuff getting the buffs and everything, Sinister Chokes and things of that nature is always good. So again, another card I also want to try and put in is like Sagacious Strike because it will trigger this. So again, it's all in the testing phases and stuff, but we play 1 of these again for extra draw power to keep going in combat. Card I've been talking about, 1 Red Despair Drill. Everything's at least doing +3 life because of Wheelo's ability being able to set to 3. So we play one of these for sure. Which you only play one, but you just still got to play it. It's just too good of a card. Everything getting a +3 modifier buff, all for free, is really really gross. One red embarrassing drill. Again, being able to pay for card effects and being able to have it, you don't have to lower your anger is always helpful. So basically, using like forward stance to stop an attack without lowering your anger is always good. So one of these. One red forward stance drill. It's too clutch in this deck. It's good. It's the main reason why I think a lot of people, if they ever played it, find Wheelo annoying. Not like unstoppable to beat, but just annoying. Simply because this drill just helps you, block an attack every turn, and you would always have the anger for it. That's the best part. You unless your opponent like digs you up, which is fine because his level 2 is still really good. Um, you just always have the anger for it. So set your anger to 3, and then kablamo. You always have a block. One red examination drill. So this card's really really good. I kind of underestimated the value in it, and with like Turles, just because when it comes into play, you lower your anger 2 to destroy a setup. So if you have embarrassing drill, it's pretty much free to blow up something. But I was talking about before with like red energy blast and stuff where you can banish your drills and things like that. So Q combos with this card include like red retreat. So you can use red retreat, bring this out, activate it, lower your anger 2, blow up a setup or drill, which is always good, and then banish it to end combat, and then bring it back out with let's say like a red stop or a red freezing beam or something of that nature. So that blow up out and then come back, blow up and stuff like that, and then after you use a critical damage effect, not actual critical damage, you get to destroy a drill. So if your opponent's playing something with a bunch of drills or anything like that, you can blow up a drill, or it can even blow up itself. So you can blow up itself and then just bring it back out and blow up another setup or drill. So this card is really disgusting, and I'm just happy that it's in this deck. I'm kind of upset that I just didn't. I just kind of like overlooked this, but this card is really really good. So one red examination drill, one red saving drill again because you can always bring it back. So you just pretty much have one, so that way you level up, and you can just bring it back out with red stop or freezing beam or something like that. So if you ever get dug up, you can keep your whole drill package, and then when you're at level 2, Wheelo, you have the whole like drill stuff. So hopefully you still have some anger. You have your despair and stuff like that. So if you have like at least 3 anger, everything's +3 plus Wheelo 2 is +5, and then anytime they block an attack, anytime you stop an attack, sorry, they destroy the top card. So forward stance, they basically mill 1 every turn if they try to go on you. So everything's doing +5, and then they're taking damage on the defense as well. So one red saving drill for sure, and one red cover drill. So this makes it so that way everything with despair, even if it's just chip damage, like the 3 life cards are just always 3 life cards. So double strike, 2 stages, 3 life cards, no endurance, things like that. And it has another good effect. If it's banned from your discard pile during combat, you may place a style drill from your discard pile into play. So that's always relevant and helpful as well. And 3 endurance. So yeah, it's not a bad drill at all. It's always good to have unpreventable damage in this game. For setups, we play 2 VZP. Again, toolbox reasons. Sometimes even if I'm going on the offensive, I'll still use it just to give myself an extra life card and then use a mastery and stuff like that. But it's just good just to, again, have that versatility using your discard pile as a toolbox. 2 Red Premonition. Again, the targets that we have, we play 2. Again, I had it at 3 before, but having these as your targets always helpful. These are your only targets right now, but it's pretty much all you need. You have 1 to end combat and 1 to basically stop an attack. So having defensive searchable cards is always good to have, especially with, again, a personality like Wheelo where he only gains 1 power stage on your power up step, and he's just always like in A at level 1. So having these to be able to search out defensive cards is always helpful. So, and last but not least, 3 Red Relaxation. Again, relaxation because of the stage gain as well. being able to crit on your opponent's turn when entering, uh, just using your resource as a your disco pile as another resource. Again, we talked about that with VTP, but being able to use relaxation, draw the bottom card, and do all this cool fun stuff. There were a lot of cards I was considering playing again. One of them being Red Forceful Strike, just for you know the setup, drill, hate, things like that. But I felt like Red Cannon probably does a better job. But still a card I want to consider for sure. So there's a lot of cards that this deck can go a lot of directions and stuff like that. Also want to put Red Tactical Drill in here. I just couldn't find one, so that was another one where your anger can't be lowered. So you got 3 anger, they head knock you. You still keep your anger, which you can use for the forward stance drill and all that stuff. So we'll just get into the combos of the deck. So again, the way Wheelo functions again is unconventional in terms of how you think it would be played, but having Wheelo, and again we talked about like the red right punch combo. So you again you right punch, and the drill that you always want to get it at least is always forward stance if it's not in your discard pile. But forward stance, let's say despair and embarrassing or something like that, and then they attack you, you block, and then you mastery to use right punch again to let's say we want to get this, so that way all your stuff is unpreventable, your physical attacks, uh, intimidation, and again depending on like the board state, if your opponent has like setups you want to get rid of, you can get an examination drill to blow up a setup or drill, or if you feel like they might dig you, you can get a saving drill so you can protect all your drills, of that nature. So you have a lot of different ways to kind of go about it. um, I don't play red channel surfing drill in here because again you're searching out all your drills, so you rarely have drills in your hand to use its effect, even though its effect is very Wheelo-ish of milling. Another card you don't see in here is Wheelo's Revival. It's another card I really still want to try and fit in. Again, it's space reasons, but I figured the Red Tandem Blast, um, the energy that your opponent can't play non-solid cards, kind of replaces it. I wouldn't say like it's a all solution because it's good to have your opponent mill 3 unexpectedly, but I just figured this would be more consistent. I still want to try and put it in there just because of the stage gain and everything like that. But we'll see. It's all about testing and fine tuning. So this is pretty much the Red Ruthless Wheelo build. Again, still a lot of change that can probably be made. I'm just trying to simplify it where I can even just try and get the drills out. That's the main goal of it, and just kind of control from there. So if you don't want to level up, you can just keep setting your anger to 3, things like that, or you can just pay to lower your anger and then bring it back up with Wheelo. Um, I also want to try Pulverize so I can get like the right punch, pretty much the engine of the deck. But there's a lot of different ways you can go. Again, tight space is tight space. So you can also see on Wheelo too, again, all his levels. Every level is actually pretty good except 4 in this deck in terms of like the synergy. Because again, with 2, if you have, granted, if you let's say you keep your drills with save and drill, this right there again, we talked about like the whole +5 thing. So +5 right here, you have your anger at 3, and then you can always control your anger, send it, block it, they mill 1, things like that. And being able to use Ruthless is has a lot of advantages. Again, if you look at Double Strike, let's say if you have 0 anger and these are your 2 drills, um, this will do 2 stages and 1 life card, and then you gain the anger, and then your next one will do 2 stages and 3 life cards, and then you master it, and it just keeps adding up and up and up. So you can see how deadly it can become, especially if you have something like this and you use like a Sinister Choke or something like that. Depending on your anger, this is ready 7, and then plus whatever this is. Or if you have Red Cannon, um, right there, depending again if you red save and keep all your drills, this is probably like best case scenario. Let's see, forward stance and some drills or something like that. Whatever. So this is banished because you leveled whatever. So these are like your drills. So depending on your anger, Red Cannon is coming in for, as you can see, a lot of damage because this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus whatever that is. And again, we also talked about destroying your own drill. So if your opponent has like a setup that they want to use or something like that, you can Red Cannon, blow this up, banish their setup or drill, and then they still take a lot of damage. And then you can bring this back up again with Red Stop or Red Freeze and Beam and blow up more stuff. So this deck is a lot of fun to play with. Um, as for competitive, I don't know yet. I have to do more testing with it. It can get there. It just can't really like finish the job. I feel, again because of Wheelo how weak he is, but he kind of makes up for that with all the cards that support it. So um, I would say just try it out, and I feel like he has a lot of potential in that aspect because of all the things I mentioned. But the things you have to look out for are like overwhelming power because it's basically a DB4 and blow up all your stuff, so it'll be hard for you to recover. So I say just give it a shot and see what you guys think. So this is pretty much the Red Ruthless Wheelo deck. If you guys like it, just leave a like on the page, and don't forget to comment and subscribe. So until next time, Z Warriors, Mr. Waffles out.